Dead animals, scientists are close to reviving.
This
Freaking
might shock
Jurassic
you,
Park
but
style,
Earth is in the
dude.
middle of a mass extinction right now, and it's all thanks
'Cause
to
of us.
meddling humans.
Yeah!
In fact, more than 1 in 5 species on the planet today faces extinction, and that's predicted
That's
to
actually
rise
sad.
to 50% by the end of the century, unless we do something about it. But what if I told you extinction isn't as permanent as you think? Thanks to the wonders of science, we might even be able to turn back the hands of time by reviving some
I was gonna say, I want to bring back a woolly
species.
mammoth, dude.
So,
That would be
without
sick
further
as hell.
ado, let's take a look at some extinct
Neon, you gotta chill with the
animals
spam,
that
man.
might walk the earth once more. The woolly mammoth.
Yes!
Has huge tusks, a furry winter coat, and weighs up to 6 tons.
6
Woolly mammoths.
tons.
Duh. Of course, none of us have seen these breathtaking giants in our lifetimes because they went extinct thousands of years ago. Although they were once thought to have vanished during the last ice age, a recent discovery has revealed that the last isolated
I love that
colony
movie.
of around 500 to 1,000 woolly mammoths actually lived on Wrangel Island in the Arctic Ocean as recently as 4,000 years ago. Unlike the elephants we know today, which populate habitats like the savannas of Africa and Asian jungles, woolly mammoths could be found in the tundra.
I want to see like a
which
mammoth and an
stretched
elephant
across
side by side.
Northern Asia, many parts of Europe, and the northern part of North
Like how
America.
big are they? A lot
Their
bigger than regular
smaller
elephants?
Ears, shorter tails, and extra thick coats protected them from frostbite and made them well adapted to these chilly conditions there. In fact, the woolly mammoth played such an integral role in the upkeep of this environment that it has also been nicknamed the mammoth steppe. Many scientists think the woolly mammoths died off when the weather became warmer and their food supply changed. Although,
his leg
unsurprisingly,
bent
it
like that?
also seems like pesky humans and their habit for overhunting may have had something to do with it. But could we be seeing the woolly mammoth again sometime soon?
I want to see like
The
how it's gonna come back.
possibility is more
I don't know
likely
if
than
we'll
you
watch the whole
think.
thing. We'll see.
Over the years, a handful of well-preserved woolly mammoth specimens have been found frozen in Siberian permafrost, and
Is that real? Holy cow. That is actually crazy how well ice can preserve. I mean, we knew this because of Captain America. But that is, I mean, we're talking about like hair and skin still like intact. It's kind of gross, but like if you think about how long that was preserved for,
these
Jesus
could now be the
Christ.
key to reviving the long-dead species. It might sound like something from a sci-fi movie, but scientists are hopeful that we might soon see animals we once considered extinct return through something they like to call
We've had so many movies
de-extinction. Before we
tell
go
us
any
that this is a
further,
bad idea.
you can make sure Be Amazed never goes extinct by following
By
these
hitting
simple
the like
steps.
button.
Stay that de-extinction has become more and more likely thanks to advances in the fields of selective breeding, genetics, and reproductive cloning technologies. In the latter part of the 20th century, tools emerged that allowed scientists to isolate and analyze DNA from the bones, hair, and other tissue of dead animals.
Mix it with a
like
gerbil and see what
frozen
happens.
mammoths. At the forefront of these advances is a handy tool for gene modification known as CRISPR-Cas9, which can be used to isolate specific traits of mammoth DNA that could then be integrated into another animal's DNA, like a super sciencey cut and paste tool. This
Wow.
could come in particularly useful for bringing back the woolly mammoth because their
Mix it with a
closest
person.
relative is still living, the Asian elephant. Once their relative genes have been swapped from the
That's what that's how big elephants are that we know now. And that's how big woolly mammoths were. And we want to bring this shit back. For what reason? Other than for it to just kill us all.
extinct species into the living one, the hybrid genome would be implanted into a surrogate, or could even be grown ex vitro outside the mother, using an artificial womb. This approach doesn't produce genetically identical copies of extinct animals, but rather modern versions of an animal engineered to look and behave like its extinct relative.
So you know what's creepy about this though, chat? The fact that we're hearing about this now in a YouTube video means that the science has been out there for a while, right? That it's been like experimented on, it's been published, the videos had time to be produced. That means that if it's possible, someone's already tried it, right? I have a hard time believing that they haven't tried this yet. That inside some giant dome, they're not just like reproducing friggin' woolly mammoths.
So the end
To
result
unleash
would
onto
be
people.
a sort of mammothant, well adapted to the conditions of the far north, with shorter ears and a thick, hairy coat. rather than a bona fide woolly mammoth. But why should we bring the woolly mammoth back in the first place?
Great question.
Well, it could actually have some major environmental benefits.
Doubt
According
it.
to George Church, the researcher heading up the Harvard Woolly Mammoth Revival Team, bringing back the giants could help convert the Arctic tundra back to grasslands that existed during the last ice age. You see, mammoths
Why would we
and
want to do
other
that, though?
large herbivores trampling across the ancient Arctic ecosystems helped maintain the grasslands by knocking down trees and spreading grass seeds in their dung. But when these animals vanished, the ecosystem transitioned into the mossy tundra and taiga we see today, with permafrost that is starting to melt, gradually releasing harmful carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. Russian geophysicist Sergei Zimov has already carried out extensive research proving that tundra can be converted back to grasslands with the reintroduction of grazing animals. With a mammoth herd taking part in something like this, the results could indeed be astounding. But how close are we
Or
to
we could
bringing
just
the
leave it.
woolly mammoth back? In 2017, Church said that we could
One of them, if it
see
ain't broke,
live
don't fix it
woolly
kind of things?
mammoths in a couple of years. While Dr. Tom Ellis, who's leading research into synthetic biology and genome engineering at Imperial College London, thinks it'll take at least 10 years. But things are advancing every year. In 2019, top-end scientists in Japan made a breakthrough when cells recovered from a 28,000-year-old preserved mammoth
Holy
showed
cow.
signs of life. So at this point, it certainly feels like a question of when, not if, we will see these giants walk among us again. Thylacine. All this
Why, dude? Just why? That's crazy. And you know what? It's one thing though. Whatever year they say it's gonna happen in, add like 50 years onto that, bro. People thought we were gonna have flying cars now. All we've got is cryptocurrency and NFTs, dude, and a virus that we're fighting with a mask. Okay, like listen. And a vaccine. My point is, I have a hard time believing that we're just gonna like recreate a bunch of these things in a lab and then like what, chopper them over to a freaking island, dump them there, and you know what I mean? Holy man.
talk of
Holy cow.
de-extinction might be exciting, but we're still many steps away from recreating Jurassic Park. Siberian unicorn. What if I told you
Shut the hell up.
unicorns once walked among us?
Nah.
I'm not talking about the graceful creatures, shrubs, and any other vegetation they could be analyzed for the first time. Although the hulking animal was originally thought to have become extinct between 200,000 and 100,000 years ago, radiocarbon dating of a total of 23 bone specimens by an international team of scientists found the Ice Age giant in fact survived in Eastern Europe and Central Asia until as recently as 36,000 years ago.
That was like
means
yesterday.
It roamed the earth among early modern humans. Surprisingly though, humans likely had nothing to do with their extinction. Instead, new evidence shows that the hefty beast may have eventually died out because it was such a picky eater. The Siberian unicorn was like a glorified prehistoric lawnmower, plodding along grazing on tough, dry grasses.
That's hard to
but
believe.
During a period of
What are you gonna have, like a lion that like turns vegan and just doesn't make it? You know what I mean? Like I have a hard time believing that like nature would just be like, I don't want to eat that, and then choose to die instead of it.
significant climate change, when other grass eaters switched their diets to herbs, shrubs, and any other vegetation they could find, the Siberian unicorn did not adapt. Instead, it continued grazing on what grass was left, even when encroaching permafrost killed it off. DNA analysis has also revealed that the
I was gonna say,
Siberian
it kinda
unicorn
looks
was
like-
not closely related to modern rhinos, contrary to popular
How?
belief, but was a unique lineage that
It looks like the
split
same
from
thing!
line that led to modern rhinos over 40 million years ago. Scientists now hope that knowing more about the extinction of these animals could help save the remaining rhinos on the planet. There are only 5 species of rhinoceros alive today. Ever been the
Passenger
same
pigeons?
since? Great and pinkish red, generally.
Did they just show an
controlled,
animation
shaped,
of
and
a bunch of
flammable
pigeons pooping?
That they destroyed trees and increased forest fires. I know that doesn't sound like much of a positive thing,
Flammable shit.
but hear me out.
Damn.
After the passenger pigeons went extinct, these healthy natural disturbances ceased. White oaks lost their primary Over the years, scientists
Oh,
have
hell yeah.
inches in
Yeah.
length. These big cats
This I'm in favor of. This would be sick.
roamed North and South America during the Pleistocene epoch and went extinct approximately 10,000 years ago.
I want one as a pet, dude. This is the only animal that I'm in favor of bringing back because it would be so sick.
Likely as a combined result of environmental change, decline in prey population, and, of course, human intervention. Despite its intimidating size, clocking in at around 5 feet long and up to 620 pounds, and those extremely sharp
contact
canine
almost just
teeth,
fell out.
the extinction of the saber-toothed tiger also happened to align with the period
My toxic trait is thinking that I could make it love me.
when humans started to make huge strides in hunting technology. Although they may not have hunted them for food, they may have killed them for sport using simple projectile weapons. Over the years, scientists have uncovered a number of saber-toothed skeletons and fossils in places like the La Brea tar pits of North America, which have revealed additional details about this impressive creature. We know that they were large cats that had short limbs, and scientists now believe that it may have been similar in size to a modern-day African lion.
Jesus Christ.
Despite the name, they weren't actually related to modern-day tigers found in Asia. In fact, it has been suggested that their closest living relative is actually the clouded leopard, which are the only modern carnivores with skull features that even approach saber-tooth proportions. Considering saber-tooths existed at the same time as the woolly mammoths and would even have eaten the occasional small mammoth, resurrecting these predators isn't out of the question. If more complete and well-preserved specimens are found frozen in the Siberian permafrost, these could allow scientists to extract DNA and successfully sequence the genome needed to
Bro, we're gonna be able to recreate the Ice Age movie
revive
without
the
animation.
species. Of course,
They're bringing back
the next
everything.
step would be to determine which living relative could act as a successful surrogate.
Isn't it just immediately interesting, though, how, like, all of these animals that we're bringing back were from the Ice Age, and it's because their skeletons and their DNA were just so perfectly preserved in ice? I'm just assuming that that was because of the Ice Age. You know what I mean? Isn't that crazy to think about? It was preserved for tens of thousands of years to the point where we're going to be able to bring it back.
For the hybrid genome. But there's one big question. Are there any benefits to bringing back these Ice Age predators?
Yes.
As it stands,
Tourist attractions.
extinction has more to do with ecology than tourism. After all, it would be morally wrong to revive a species that is going to be a zoo animal forever, or a
Yeah, but you'd make a lot of money.
new, more dangerous predator that could threaten existing species. Whether the world is ready to see the saber-toothed tiger again remains to be seen for now. But as we've learned, extinction is not always the end. Which of these extinct
Dude, I
animals
bet
would
we've already revived some animals that are just living in a lab somewhere. Keep existing species alive is good, but reviving long-lost animals could have negative impacts on today's ecosystem, which has been functioning without them for a very long time. Yeah, it'd be cool, but we need to focus more on keeping animals alive that are still walking the earth, that are becoming extinct from becoming extinct. We should not worry about bringing back mammoths. We should start worrying about working on multiplying animals like pandas and other animals to keep them from becoming extinct. Okay, well, you're just saying that, Jeffrey, because pandas are cuter than mammoths. You know, that's why they're saying that, for no other reason. It's just because it's cuter. That's not a fair reason.